I'm doing my performance exam number 4 with Clara and Mandy. Elizabeth Bennet is a unique character, and she has so many qualities that make her so inspiring to me. Jane Austen herself, who is the author of Pride and Prejudice, stated, "I must confess that I think her as delightful a creature has ever appeared in print, and how I shall be able to tolerate those who do not like her, I do not know." I'd have to say I agree with that statement. Elizabeth is the second oldest out of 5 sisters. She's described as being a very smart young woman who is more interested in the more ridiculous things. She's personally proud of who she is, and she's especially good at judging people's characters. Even though Elizabeth has been around for hundreds of years, there are still so many life lessons that we can learn from her today. Today, I'm going to discuss 3 life lessons that I think everyone should learn from Miss Bennet. The 3 lessons are that she learns from her mistakes, she doesn't settle, and she's very good at voicing her opinions. First, let's talk about how Elizabeth learns from her lessons. Learning from our mistakes is something that we all can get better at, and if somebody says they're perfect at it, they're probably lying. Sometimes this is hard because we don't want to let our pride go, and we're embarrassed to admit that we are wrong. I admire Elizabeth because she's always been good at this. She could have made justifications for her actions, but instead she just faces the facts. She acknowledges that other people are right and that she is sometimes wrong. Because someone cannot be right all of the time, Elizabeth understands this when a lot of us don't. Her ability to realize that she is at fault at times takes a lot of meekness and a lot of self-awareness that a lot of us don't have at all. This is a trait that every human should strive to get good at. Now let's talk about settling. According to Darling Magazine, Elizabeth refuses to take a hand of a man for whom she feels anything but wholehearted love. This is something that women even today struggle with. They feel like if something is comfortable or if it's easy, they should stay in the relationship because they're scared to get out of it. Take these men for example. Mr. Collins was the first man that Elizabeth was introduced to, and everyone wanted her to marry him, even her family did. She could have easily married him. She would have all the money in the world. She could have anything she wanted except true love. She didn't love him, and he didn't love her. So on the other side of things, Mr. Darcy came along, and at first, Elizabeth really didn't like him at all. But over time, they slowly started to fall in love. But if she just would have settled for Mr. Collins, she might not have ever met Mr. Darcy. Elizabeth is a perfect example that if you don't settle and you keep following your heart, one day you will find the love of your life. So never settle for less than you deserve. Lastly, I would like to talk about how bold and fierce Elizabeth was. She is not afraid to tell people what she thinks. She never lets anyone run her over, no matter the person or the situation. In Volume 2, Chapter 11 of Pride and Prejudice, Elizabeth turns down Darcy's proposal by saying, "You could not have made me the offer of your hand in any possible way that would have tempted me to accept it. If this isn't harsh, I don't know what is." Just take a look at this picture. She has a very fierce look to her. If she walked in the room now, we'd all be shook. I really love this characteristic of Elizabeth. It has inspired me not to let people get to me and to always stand my ground. As you can tell, Elizabeth was a wonderful woman and who was so inspiring and so strong. I hope that after hearing about this amazing woman, you'll feel more inspired to be yourself because that's exactly what Elizabeth did. Here are all the lessons that we learned from her today. I hope that you start to learn from your mistakes. We all make them, so you might as well learn from them. By doing this, you will grow so much as a human. But most importantly, I hope that you never settle for anything less than you deserve. Just like she did. She didn't settle for Mr. Collins. She knew what she wanted and she went for it. She got the love of her life in the end, so I guess it works. And also, never be afraid to voice your opinion. Your opinion always matters.